Hi, in this video I just want to discuss with you a subject related to shrimp aquaculture, and we all know shrimp is doing very well as far as the farmed shrimp is concerned, and India is number one in terms of exporting shrimp products from the country. And from 21 to 22, the country like Ecuador is trying to overtake India in terms of shrimp export. Otherwise, the growth rate from 2020 to 2021 globally, it is almost like 8.9% growth rate. The farmed shrimp almost contribute 55% of the total shrimp produced in the world. However, everything about shrimp or farmed shrimp globally is not doing well, and we all know the sector has been facing a lot of problems with respect to virus diseases like white spot syndrome virus, yellow herd virus, and all. And however, the Vibrio, the kind of bacterial pathogen causing serious problem from the beginning of shrimp aquaculture sector coming into picture, and now there are a number of diseases like running mortality, white fecal diseases, EMS, and luminescent vibriosis, all causing problem to shrimp aquaculture sector. And how to manage this disease, and earlier we started using antibiotics, and antibiotics in larger level in hatcheries and in the farm to some extent. Now almost all the antibiotics have been banned from using in shrimp aquaculture in general, in aquaculture globally. If you want to export your product, then you have to be very, very careful, and the residues of antibiotics, the consignment will be totally prevented from exporting. So the farmers are aware, the hatchery owners are aware that antibiotics should not be used. However, there are certain cases, unavoidable situations, the antibiotic usage is still in prevalence. That is what we could understand. And the government is taking all out efforts to identify the residual effects of antibiotics, if any, in the seed produce as well as in the farm produce being exported or being in the local market. So we need to be very careful, and antibiotic usage should be totally prevented. I should not be indulged in antibiotic usage in a smallest level even, and leave alone the indiscriminate use of antibiotics in the sector. And how we can control, there are different methods. Probiotics are one. Then you might have heard about the technology called bacteriophages can be used effectively to control this bacterial pathogen. The bacteriophages have a specific role, and it is a difference between when you are using an antibiotic, it is like using a nuclear bomb, and if you are using a phage, then it is like a directed missile. So this is the difference between antibiotic and usage of phage. So this bacteriophage or phage have a different role. What will happen, once they take over the bacteria, when we are using this phage against the bacteria, they get the content of the bacteria squeezed out, or the bacteria will start vomiting the content of it, and then in the process the genetic information material from the phage will be transferred to the bacteria. The bacteria in the process get killed, and they will be carrying a genetic information material transferred from the phage to the bacteria. So this transformation help tremendously to change the role of the bacteria. So this phages helps to kill the enemy. They also give you a kind of characteristics in the cell so that they can withstand the challenging environment in which they have to be exposed. And interestingly, they also have an antibiotic product in them. So this is what we are trying to use in our antibiotic usage. So instead of antibiotic, when we are using these phages or bacteriophages, they also work like an antibiotic. So that is a kind of biological weapon we can develop in the form of phages, and this can help to encounter or take over the problem of bacteria in the culture system. And the research institutes need to work more. There are a lot of work going on globally as well as in India on bacteriophages or phages, and we need to work more on these areas to identify suitable bacteriophages to tackle the problem of bacteria, pathogenic bacteria, particularly Vibriosis. And there are a number of factory produced phages are used in different areas, particularly in agriculture. There are a number of such factory produced phages are used. Similarly, kind of bacteriophages should be available in aquaculture, and they need to be studied properly. But now we have a number of probiotic and phages are allowed in the country, and there is the certification procedure is in place. But the contention is, like, since we are dealing with microbes, the institutions have to be very careful. The agency is responsible for allowing the other biological materials in the form of inputs goes into the ponds for controlling the diseases. The agencies need to be doubly careful in allowing such biological material. Otherwise, the antibiotic resistance can be prevented totally, or we can control the antibiotic resistance development in the aquaculture produce, particularly in shrimp, by using these bacteriophages and phages. And otherwise, what will happen? This can cause serious social problems, particularly for human being. If you are continuously consuming such antibiotic resistant bacteria-based shrimp or any aquaculture produce, and they can create severe problem in human being, and you may not be able to control any bacterial infection in you if you are continuously taking such a produce which are infected or which are contaminated by antibiotic resistant drug used forms. So you have to be careful, and this is what the purpose of this video, to sensitize the hatchery owners, the farmers, and then all the researchers and the policymakers to understand the impact of antibiotic resistance in aquaculture, and particularly in shrimp aquaculture, which we are continuously doing for export markets. Thank you so much.